Upgrades.
What is going on, y'all? This is Keith 7, TeamJVS. I got the man, the myth, the legend here with me. What's going on, man?
What up? What up? Let me flip it up. There we go.
So, yeah, we're gonna be breaking down these first three episodes of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. We're in the Swordsmith Village, and it's gonna get wild. It's gonna get wild. So this show is one of those. They first things first. What do you think of the three episodes so far, Sam? These first three.
Well, first off, I'll say this: Demon Slayer is one of the most beautiful looking animes I've ever seen. I'm not even gonna fake. Like the action, the animation, the design, it's like literally motion art, and you can never take anything against it. But what I didn't anticipate, the first episode was really long, but it was so needed because you got the understanding of all the upper ranks, and
That's what I was gonna ask you about.
that that whole joint was terrifying.
Well,
There's one
yeah.
specific thing I want to talk about, but I'll wait till you get to it. One like I'm talking about upper one. But even more than that, how frustrated Musin is, and I was like, bro, what does this mean? Like it's kind of like you got a snake den, and you've just been rattling that den all day, and it's like eventually these snakes gonna come out, and sure enough, shoot, as we can see, bro, things are not getting better. They're about to
Well,
get much worse, but it's weird because it's kind of like the calm before the storm. Like in the very beginning of the end of the first episode, I was like, oh, okay, your crew is getting back to where they are, but then Tanjiro is kind of going on his own excursion to try to find a sword, and it's just I love how fluid and natural this story goes. Like it's
it
never
does.
feeling
It's
like it's
very, very fluid from the beginning, from the very beginning when he goes to get coal and comes back and his family's been killed, all the way up until now. It has just flowed, and there've been some like time skips and exposition here and there, but for the most part it really is his story. It really is his story. But yeah, going back to this episode. So we saw what happened with uh the end of the Mugen Train arc last season, right? And
Mhm.
that was the first time we ever got a glimpse of an upper rank demon, right? Akaza, who was upper rank 3.
Mhm.
So him being upper rank 3, that means there's 3 demons that are more powerful than him. It, when you
Right.
include Muzan, right?
Right.
And we saw what he did with the the flame Hashira. It feels really one-sided, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It feels really one-sided, and I'm not gonna lie, upper rank 2 really terrifies me because he seems so happy-go-lucky.
Mhm.
It's those happy ones that are the worst and the most sinister.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely terrified of upper rank 2, Doma. And I was gonna ask you, what'd you think about that whole scene and how they all interacted with each other?
So the thing about this show, every time that Tanjiro kills any of these demons, like they all have an actual story. They weren't all just evil.
Right.
They all had it got progressed to this or seduced to this by music for whatever reasons. I think it made me very fascinated with the one that killed the Hashira that I loved in the mutant trait. And I was kind of
Yeah.
like, he seems like he ain't with them.
Yeah.
He
Yeah. Yeah.
got
Yeah.
and I think it was when he just kept on cutting this man's body parts off. Like he wasn't doing that because he was spiteful.
He
It was
hates.
because
Yeah.
he
He
was
does not
disgusted.
like this guy.
He don't want to be around him.
Yeah.
And also, bro, first off, when he first got there, he was alone and he had to navigate around to get to the castle area. I was like, this
Man.
is animation heaven because
Listen.
I don't know whether to be thrilled or terrified because every single time he was looking at one of these other ranks, like he just has this disdain with them. And it seems very believable. Like these are all tortured souls, but he's one of the only ones that's like, I don't really want to be around any of them. And I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
more interested in his backstory, honestly.
I am too, and I'm sure that we'll get it whenever he fights the next time. They normally give us some backstory, and so it was really interesting seeing that. And yeah, going back to what you were saying about the animation, as far as animation goes, with like week to week animes, I put Demon Slayer as number one, and it's not even close. Like the animation for this show is the best animation I've ever seen, with all the breathing styles. Like the visuals for this, you could pause any moment in any episode and it's a desktop background. Like it's a very beautiful, well done show. And it was really cool seeing all of these upper ranks meet for the first that meeting for the first time. It just really seems one sided because we just, like I said, we saw what upper rank 3 did and just made it look easy.
Right.
And going from there, it's like, man, I don't know what the Hashira are gonna do. I don't know how this is all gonna play out. But one of the big things, though, is the lowest two that were left. Which, first off, they kind of trashed Gyutaro for losing. They were like, "Oh, well, we need him hanging out with his sister. We knew that was gonna eventually blow up in his face." And so they send the two upper ranks to this swordsmith village. Upper rank 4 and upper rank 5 both go to this swordsmith village. And so honestly, it's fortunate that they're going, that it just so happens they got to face them in order. Because if they sent any of those upper 3, I think it wouldn't even be a season.
No, nah, yeah, nah. This ninja right here is what I was gonna say because
Okay, keep that up there. What's keep that up there. What do you notice first thing?
his hair and also the what's the that Tanjiro had when he was
The
put on
mark.
his body. Yes, the
Right.
mark that kind of moves with him on his face. I was like, this dude, if he ain't related to Tanjiro, he's a direct. I mean, I would be. There's no way he's not related to Tanjiro. That's the
Did,
best thing I can kind of say because you have to figure. And I think they even said it. It's like, when's the last time we met? It's been like 90 years. It's been like 100 years. And I think he said something like 300 years or something like that. And so I was like, what is going on right now? So,
and
yeah.
on top of that, did you notice he has a sword?
Yep. Yep. Sure
And
did.
so I'm thinking upper one has to be, like, he had to use like used to be a slayer,
Yeah.
right? Like that's my first thought. He looks just like Yorichi,
Mm-hmm.
He looks just like Yorichi. He has the mark, and so I'm wondering, yeah, there's got to be some relations,
Yeah.
some kind of relationship going on. And so yeah, that seeing the upper ranks meet like that was cool. And then of course cutting over to Tanjiro, he's healing. I feel like if he's not fighting, he's either in the hospital or he eating, right? He's healing up and he gets better, Nasuke gets better, Zenitsu gets better, and then they all split up, which is
Right.
something that kind of threw me off because I'm like,
Right.
where are our boys at? Like, wait a minute, the gang's not together. Like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Right.
um, but they head out. Then I love how they explain how secret this swordsmith village is, and how he goes about getting there. What were your thoughts there?
I thought that was actually really cool because I was like, that makes sense. Like they
Yeah,
they plugged a man's nose up because his nose too good. They were like, yeah, I'm covering your ears up, your nose, your eyes. You ain't. But even when he even got there, she was like, oh, it's a good thing we covered your nose up because you would have found us out. But
right.
it's important because if who said it? I think it was in the conversation he was having with the sword. I forgot the guy's name. That is a Hashira. That he was kind of engaging with the young man and about to have a fight with him. And Tanjiro was like, "How can you be like this? Like you can't do this. Like you have to treat people with respect so you can be able to get it back." It was when he said something along the lines of like,
Are you
"Hey,
talking about the Hashira, the one from this season?
yeah, I forget his name."
Tokito Muichiro.
Right.
Yeah,
Like he basically said to him like, look, if you didn't have them, the people that are making this sword, how do you expect to be a successful Hashira?
yeah,
Like we work symbiotically. Like they provide us with the tools to stop these demons. If there were no tools, you couldn't do what you're doing right now.
right.
And I think that's the truth. Like it's kind of like if say any of these upper rank actually found this,
It'd
that's
be
it. Like
it'd
there's
be a
no
wrap.
more production of swords.
It would be a wrap. And so like you get all this information. Tanjiro goes back to training, which I'm glad they show. I'm glad they show the training and getting better, because honestly, it doesn't really make much sense when you think about what he's going through and how he's beaten these people. And also, we still don't have any other information about that super mode that he tapped into
Right.
at the end of last season. And so I'm really hoping they dig into that some more. But then like they got like a six-armed robot out here,
Right.
right? Uh and Tanjiro's training with it, and there's a sword inside of it.
Right.
What's going on there? What do you think? What do you think? So I first off, I was like, wait a minute, here we go. This might be how they do it, because Tanjiro's always breaking swords, right? And
Right.
then this sword that's inside of there, I'm like, wait a minute. This might be that secret weapon. This might be what they need for these upper ranks. What were your thoughts when you saw that?
So Tandro, he's a smooth criminal, man. Like he's a good dude. Like he's such a pleasant individual. And the
Yeah.
hospital that was there, the girl, like she kind of a little smitten with him by something that he said, and she kind of whispered into his ear, like she's like, "There's a secret sword on this island, and it makes you stronger.
Oh yeah,
And it's
secret
not a
weapon.
good luck." Right?
They said
Yeah.
it was a secret weapon.
Right.
Yeah.
True. 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 A secret weapon. Go and try to find it. And of course, when the other Hashira was engaging with it, I looked at this. I was like, first off, look at his ears. Look what's on his ears. And
Yeah.
Tanjiro was like looking at
Earrings.
his hair. He was like, I swear this looks like one of my relatives, like straight
Yeah.
up. And so the fact that Tanjiro had to put in the extra work and do what he had to do, and then it was revealed the sword. It goes back to I think like the first season where
Mm-hmm.
they had said that the sword is supposed to change based on who you are and what your classification is. And Tanjiro's never did. It was
Right.
always this black. It never changed. It never. And so I thought then, and I was like, okay, that's not going to be his sword. But I think when we got to the mutant train and it actually broke, I was like, okay, that's definitely not going to be his sword.
Right.
And he kept on like deflecting and saying like, man, I keep on messing this up. So it's like, okay, he's gonna get the sword that was promised to him. I just don't know what that means. It's very exciting.
Do you do you
I'm
yeah.
scared because his new ability last season, like he almost died. like the more he kept pushing his body, like I was like, eventually this is not gonna it's not gonna work. It's not sustainable. So
Yeah. Do you think so? This is what I wonder. I wonder if this is Yorichi's old sword because they talked about just how old that training doll was.
yeah, yep,
So I wonder if this is his sword because the guy's
yeah,
going to fix it up for Tanjiro,
yeah.
and I guess he just has a loner sword for now. So I'm guessing that that loner
Oh
sword
yeah, that's right.
it ain't got much time left.
Old dude was like, "Oh, it's rusty. I got this. I got this." He goes into the woods. They
Dude,
said
he
something
got
like
gains. He got gains too.
they were like he has to condition himself because many have tried to do the amount of restoration he tried to do and died, and so he had to be prepared and conditioned for it. But my
So
thing is that when they were talking about the robot, like Tanjiro was asking, "Why does he got three arms?" He was like, he was moving so fast, it's like he had three arms, and so
hmm
I was like, what? I
yeah.
was like, my immediate connection went to this upper one and this robot. Like, is that's where my head is going.
So one thing I did notice, and I think they have kind of touched on it in this show, is just how powerful Yorichi was.
You
Because this guy had to be another level of powerful that Muzan just saw Tanjiro's earrings and lost it.
yeah, he did.
Just the earrings.
Yep.
And he was like, "Nope, this ain't okay. This
This
guy
kid
got
got to go.
has to go. He
Yeah.
has the wrong jewelry, and y'all saw him. He kill the kid rocking the Gucci. Kill him. If you see a kid wearing Gucci, I want him dead. I'm gonna send all my people after. Like so, there's something. Yorichi had Muzan shook,
Yeah.
and so I'm really interested in seeing what how this season progresses because clearly there's a connection between Yorichi and Tanjiro. Also, every time it seems like they've shown Yorichi, Tanjiro's dad looks a lot like him, but we know that his dad isn't Yorichi because they talk about how Yorichi was around like hundreds of years ago,
Right. Right.
right? And so, yeah,
But
there's
so, but see, that was weird though because the dream that Tanjiro had led me to believe that Yorichi. So that's why I was wondering the kid that looked just like Tanjiro was that Tanjiro's dad.
I think it was Tanjiro's relative, but I still
Okay,
think it was too early for it to be his dad.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it was his relative. I think it was a relative though.
Okay, because I was
Um,
kind of like maybe that's Tanjiro's dad, and that's his great grandfather, and he just
maybe.
doesn't know it. But
But
yeah,
what's
the
interesting
fact
is
that
if you look at that picture though,
Mhm.
when Tanjiro went into his super mode or whatnot last season, it seemed like his hair turned that color,
It did
and that mark that's on his face, it looked very
similar.
similar.
Hmm. It definitely did, and it was. I think it was interesting because the kid, the blacksmith or the swordsmith, said, most likely these are genetic memories. Like you're having memories of your own people, and
Hmm.
it's just fascinating. I don't know what it all means, but
Yeah.
it's definitely the key to. ending all this, because there's a reason why the upper rank Musen would use someone like that as his upper rank. That's a choice.
Hmm.
So we'll
But
see.
speaking of, and so yeah, those first two episodes, they give information on the upper ranks. They give some exposition like, oh, Inosuke's gone, Zenitsu's gone. You got to go to the Swordsmith Village, get your new sword. It's cute. It's cute and it's fun and it's chill. Third episode, still cute, still fun, still chill. Tanjiro's just hanging out in the house with Muichiro, and it goes from 0 to 100. Before that, of course, there's just and this was honestly creepy because like you can go through places and you could just see creepy things and you just keep walking about and mind your own business. But this part actually did creep me out when the dude just finishes taking a shower and he is walking down the steps and there's just a vase sitting
Right.
up there on the steps. What were your thoughts that scene? You can go through it if you want to.
Yeah. So I remembered when the upper rank, that didn't have actual lips but had like lips on his eyes, when he kind of came out of a vase. And I knew exactly what it was, but I didn't know what was going to happen.
Hmm.
And when my man was just trying to sit there and come out of the bath, bro, he was just chilling. He was minding his own gosh darn business. He got too close to the sun and he got literally pulled into the vase. And when I mean pulled into, like every bone in his body cracked.
Yeah.
And then the dude was kind of like spitting him out. You can still see him twitching, meaning he was alive during the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. Because
It's
then he eventually
terrifying.
stopped moving. He stopped
It was
moving because he
scary.
died.
It was scary. Like that part was scary. And then the clip you just showed, it was
Mm-hmm.
just like a goofy moment between Muichiro and Tanjiro,
Mm-hmm.
and just straight up, door opens, upper rank just walks right in.
Yeah.
No no commercial break, no like is it's like whenever you hear a rap song and they don't even let the beat start, they just go straight into rapping. It's like
Right.
they don't even let the beat breathe. That's what happened here. Like it went from 0 to 100, and you get introduced to a new breathing technique because Muichiro is the Mist Hashira.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts when he first went into mist breathing and you saw that technique? Because I thought it was so cool. It's one of my favorite things about this anime, how unique all the different breathing styles are and how all of them look. What were your thoughts? Because I was so hyped.
Yeah, so the weird thing is the fact that this Joker just rolled up in there, I was kind of like, I kind of knew it was going to backfire because everything about his character showed me like he's young. He's younger than Tanjiro, supposedly. He's got a frail frame about him, but he's unbelievably strong. His technique
Hmm.
is unparalleled. Like he destroyed that freaking robot in less than a few minutes. Whereas
Hmm.
Tanjiro, it took him days, maybe even weeks to even
Hmm.
try to cut the thing's head off. And so I knew that he wasn't going to use concern about what could happen. And I just was like, I hope he doesn't get his arm cut off or something crazy. And sure enough, it goes left real quick. And because I went
Really
back to my
quick.
head when, oh, like, remember what happened last season? They thought that they were going to be able to just do this. And then all of a sudden it split. And I was like, God forbid that's going to happen here. Because if it does, they're done. Like, this is
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. And so yeah, it's really interesting how like one it went from 0 to 100 really quick, and then on top of that, there is seem like this one has an art where every time he gets cut, eh, a whole new demon just pops up,
Bro.
and so it's I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't know what they're gonna do because one of the first ones just blows Muichiro away, like blows
Right.
him away into the
Literally.
forest. And I'm like, okay, he's the highest ranked one. So I don't know what they're gonna do without him there. Um, and then of course you have all these dudes fighting and they all have their breathing techniques. And we got this new character, Genya, very angry, got Vegeta eyes. Um, he just used
You got a get.
Smith and Wesson breathing, right? he got
It's like, I'm gonna cap your tail,
he
bro.
got like yo, he said boys in the hood breathing. Like like
Oh my gosh,
I
dog.
was not prepared. What did you think when this man pulled out a sawed off shotgun?
First off, I was so confused. I was like, did they have guns during this time? I guess so. Whatever the situation, he blew their heads off. The
Off.
accuracy, he went straight for the neck. And then he was like, oh, bet that ain't working. Let me get my katana out real quick. And I was
Right.
like,
He got both.
so you rocking a katana and a freaking gun. And I think what made it so worse is that one, the other Hashira got blown out. But then I think Tanjiro was getting electrocuted. Like he's like literally freaking seeing it. And so I was
Right.
like, they got elements now. They got their
Yeah.
they're using different airbending techniques going on.
Yeah. It seems
Yeah,
really, really one sided right now.
it was crazy, man.
It seems really, really one sided right now. And I'm really excited to see what is gonna happen because Genya, even after he used the his that shotgun, he got stabbed.
Yeah, straight up. Like
Like
stab
straight up.
through.
Like
Yeah.
like through the stomach. And so I'm like, is he done? Like that was quick. Like where he get that shotgun from?
Yeah.
Because they need
I don't
because
know,
they're gonna
man.
need a fire breathing. They're gonna need a fire breathing Sherman tank if they planning on going up against these upper ranks, man.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that gun from, but yo, power to him for that. Hopefully, you don't die from you don't die by the gun.
Right.
But but yeah, this thing split up into four different halves. It's so weird because it had it was initially like so depressing, like, but now it's got like anger, sadness, something else.
Joy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so weird, bro. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's really interesting how I'm really interested in seeing how how that goes, and I'm also interested in seeing the differences between those two upper moons because there are actually two of them there.
Yep.
Before, Gyutaro was the upper rank. He was the upper rank, and the sister was just kind of there. But
Yep.
here we actually have two
Two.
different upper ranks in this village that was supposed to be completely hidden.
I don't know, man.
And
The
this
good
is
thing
only
is at least it's two Hashira there and Tanjiro, because
yeah.
otherwise,
And
and
we haven't seen her in a while, so I hope that she's somewhere nearby.
yeah, she was like, I think Tanjiro asked like, "Why did you become a Hashira?" She was like, "To meet my husband." Like, I was
Oh
like,
my
"Wait, what?"
god. Oh my god. I'm like, oh man, like not the
He was
look, she
like,
said that I was like, not campus ministry.
you know what? I knew you were gonna say something crazy like that. I knew you were gonna. You know what? I'm not even gonna comment on that. I'm not even gonna comment. I knew you were gonna say that. Anyway,
Am I lying though?
anyway, about these crazy, about these crazy creatures. Um, yeah, I do have an interesting theory though. I don't know if
Okay.
it's gonna happen, and it's not necessarily specific to this season or even this episode. I feel like the question that the upper three asked What's my man's name that died? He died in the amusing train.
Oh, Rengoku.
When he asked Rengoku, "Why don't you just become a demon
Hmm.
and you'd be stronger? You'd be able to maintain. You'd be able to do this." I wonder if by the end of it, Tanjiro will end up having to become a demon because the fact that his sister is one and she hasn't all the way been controlled by amusing. Like she's had moments where she's been out of control, but I wonder if it's gonna have to get to that point. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like because at this point now, it's not to say that Tanjiro doesn't have the capability of being able to do this. I think he can, but I feel like he's gonna need something else, and that's the only edge that I can possibly see.
The power
Uh,
gap seems too vast.
right, right.
The power gap seems too vast. And I'm interested in. I'm also interested in seeing if he can find out more about this sun breathing technique.
Right.
Right, I'm
True.
hoping that we can get some more information there because there's I think that's going to be I think all of that is going to be the key. I think all of it's going to be the key because so far in this show nothing's happened for no reason, right? They've given meaning. Everything's had its its meaning, and so I'm really interested in seeing what he ends up learning with the sun breathing. I mean, I want to see what happens with this sword because this sword's just been inside there for hundreds of years and no one's ever discovered it.
Right. Yeah, because the little blacksmith was like every single time my family just keeps making sure to repair it and
Yeah,
almost unbeatable and like wait what? So nothing, no one's ever even gotten his head.
right,
So but this is also weird. Maybe you can tell me this. So this is on the first episode, right?
right.
So you look at his head, but
Hmm.
then what is going on right now?
Right. I'm not sure. I noticed that too because I just started rewatching this with my wife. She had never seen it before. And so when we watched this first episode and I saw that on his head, I was like, huh, that's
It's really weird.
it's interesting.
Like it seems
I
like it's growing the stronger he gets, to be
It
honest.
seemed like it's growing, but it also like completely changed shape. And I
Yeah.
wonder if that was purposeful or if that was something they noticed in the first episode and they were like, we need to change this. Like, you know what I mean?
No, it's definitely been changing because like every single season, I feel like it's spread closer and closer to his eye.
Yeah.
Because if you look at right here, like it's moving. Like it's definitely growing.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's by choice because it's not like
Well, I guess it's because that first episode, it doesn't even look like that. It doesn't even because now it almost looks like a tattoo. But
yeah,
before that, it just looked like a almost like a
hard.
scar that was
Yeah.
just on his head. But now that looks like it, yeah. But no one's been asking questions about it. He hasn't even. And so I'm really interested in seeing what that means and where they go with that. But you're definitely right that Upper Moon One, because that was the first thing I noticed. Upper Moon One has some similar scars on his face. And then we also saw that Yorichi, when they showed on Yorichi, he also has that on his face.
Yep. Yep. So we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Oh, it did move when he had his upgrade.
Oh yeah.
Um,
When he had his
like
yeah.
it was
Now
like coming
it like burned more on his face when he yeah.
right,
That was
right.
wild. And so I'm waiting for them to go back to I'm waiting for them to go back to that and I'm certain we're gonna have to see that Super Tanjiro again if they manage to get out of this.
Yeah, I just be asking who's gonna pay the debt. Is it gonna be is
Bro,
it gonna be him? Is it gonna be the girl? Like who's gonna pay the
bro.
debt, man?
Right. Like I don't know how they getting out of this one, man. This is bad. This is real bad.
Like, can my man get a break? Can the
Right.
ninja get a fry?
Like, bro, why is it
Like my
why is
man was just like last season, man. He was suffering, bro.
bro, but man, he's such a good person, and that's one of the things I really, really like about this show is that up until now, and I hope it stays. It probably won't because it always happens in every anime. A character goes through like a dark session. I'm going through My Hero Academia right now, and, and Deku's going through it.
Oh man.
Uh,
Yeah.
but like they always, but like he just is such a kind-hearted character, and I really love that about him. Even when in last season when they went inside of his soul, and he just
Right.
had the most beautiful, clear soul.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. He's such a likable character. I'm really, really excited about covering this season with you.
Yeah, I'm hyped, dude. We definitely gotta talk about the next episode. I think the only thing that would taint him is if Musin himself killed his sister.
Oh
Like in
no.
cold blood. Like if Musin came and was like, I'm tired of you, you better stop. Okay, cool. You're not getting it. Your sister's gone.
But
She's
there's
never
something, but there's obviously something special about her that she's just
it is.
going
It is.
without feeding,
It is.
right?
It's got to do with their bloodline, bro. It's got to.
Right. And last season, Homegirl was fighting at the level of an upper moon.
Right.
She was going toe to toe with Homegirl, not just toe to toe. She was winning.
Right. And I never understood and I never remember who was it Musin himself that killed Tanjiro's in family?
Yes, it was. And the reason you know it is because when he sees other demons, they have a different scent.
Hmm.
But when he sees Muzan like just walks past him in the city,
Hmm.
he immediately is like, "That's the smell from when I
No.
got back home."
Right. Right. And it's kind of like you got to ask yourself, why did Musin just go and kill?
Right,
Why? Like, what's the
right.
purpose? Like, there's no explanation to that. I mean, yeah, he can kill whoever he wants to, but usually they piss him off. He went out of his way. He could have gotten anybody
Yeah, he just
to
shows up
go
at
and
a snow mountain and finds a house in the boondocks and just
right.
yeah,
It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, we'll get there.
yeah,
Well,
yeah. But y'all stay in tune with us. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit JVS up. Hit me up, Keaton7. Anything you want to plug, Sam?
nah, bro. Like, just let's get it. I'm
Hey,
ready.
let's get look. That's how we're gonna end it. Let's get it.
Later, y'all.
Falling out the top of
I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind. Oh Lord.